Hey, Viola Rolls here, and welcome to a new series I'm going to be doing on the channel, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. This is a Capcom game that was made in 2001, and I believe it is the first Phoenix Wright game in the whole series, so let's go ahead and get started. With the first episode, The First Turnabout. Oh. August 3rd, 9:47 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. So yeah, for the first couple of chapters of this game, it will show who the culprit is and that they framed someone, but in the later chapters it'll be up to you to figure out who actually did it. So this is basically just a tutorial type of thing. Boy, am I nervous. I bet you are, Phoenix. Right. Oh, hiya, Chief. I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. Oh, this is our first case. It says a lot about you, and your client as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case? Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. Oh boy. It's over. My life, everything, it's all over. Isn't that your client screaming over there? Yeah, that's him. Death, despair, oh! I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna die. It sounds like he wants to die. Yeah. Nick! Hey there, Larry. Larry Butts. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. Finished. I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Oh, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? Oh, so the girl is his girlfriend? The person responsible for your girlfriend's death? The newspapers say it was you. Oh. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts, my best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say, though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That, and I owe him one, which is why I took the case to clear his name. And that's just what I'm gonna do. August 3rd, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom Number 2. Okay, so we're in the courtroom now. The court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor, so we're up against Payne. The, defense is ready, Your Honor. Ahem. Mr. Wright, This is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor. I'm a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. We got this. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Okay? Yes, Your Honor. And shaking, eyesight fading. The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. It's Larry Butts. The defendant? Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? I know this one. Glad I read the case report cover so many times. It's, wait. Uh-oh. Oh no way. I forgot. I'm totally drawing a blank here. Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim? Of course I know the victim's name. I, just forgot. Temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the defendant's name is listed in the court report. Just touch the court report button to check it at any time, okay? Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you. Let's hear your answer. Who is the victim in this case? So let's check the court record, and he said that it was on this. Cindy. Okay. So, go back. So, Cindy... Oh, wait. Oh, there's two... Oh, wait. There's only one Cindy. I read Cinder Block as Cindy. The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Correct. Now, tell me what was the cause of death. She died because she was hit with a blunt object, as we saw in the cutscene. She was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. I believe that if you get these questions wrong, I don't know if they give you a chance to redo your answer, or if they just automatically fail you. It wouldn't surprise me if they automatically fail you. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then. First, a question for the prosecution, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? The murder weapon was this statue of the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. The court accepts it into evidence. I just want to state, though, wasn't the guy holding it not wearing gloves or anything? So how was his fingerprints not all over the murder weapon? But, oh well. Since you added to the court record. Right? Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Touch the court record button to check the court record frequently. Okay. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh, Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad. Well, let's see if he can, not dig himself a grave. Ahem. Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy. We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Didn't all those people die? Didn't they all die? He wasn't dumped. She just wasn't taking my phone calls or seeing me, ever. What did he do anyway? Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. What do you mean, one of them? Lies. All of it lies. I don't believe a word of it. Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. Okay. So, we know that she was traveling. Indeed, she appears to have returned the day before the murder. Dude, no way. The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears that she had several sugar daddies. Oh, God. Daddies? Sugar? Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. Oh. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude. You can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Right? I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I wait and see what happens, or stop him from answering? I think we should stop him from answering. Maybe? Or would that count as interrupting court, and that would be points against us? Let's stop him from answering. That seems to be best. My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog. She dumped you already, so she wasn't cheating. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, and when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. But please, let's continue with the trial, shall we? I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone. Oh boy. Yes, quite. They think that he killed her because she was cheating. Although he didn't know that she was seeing other men, so that doesn't even make any sense, but that's our job to show that that's not the case. Oh boy, this is not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Oh, he went. What do I do? Have him answer honestly, stop him from answering. Have him answer honestly. I'll send him a signal. Oh, please don't. Yeah, I was there. I went. Order. Well, Mr. Butts. Dude, chill. She wasn't home, man, so I didn't see her. Your Honor, the defendant is lying. Lying? The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying. Ooh. Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness? The man who found the victim's body. Just before making the gruesome discovery, he saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. So this is probably the guy who actually did it. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Sawit to the stand. Really? Sawit? Oh no, it's not the person who did it. Actually, it was actually a newspaper salesman. Mr. Sawit, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is this correct? Oh yes, newspapers, yes. Mr. Sawit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. Okay, witness testimony, witness account. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there. Okay, I already noticed a couple of discrepancies in what he said, so let's do this. Really? Why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Solid used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. Ooh, I should look at that. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes. Yes, Your Honor? You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor? All right, this is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Touch the court record button and point out contradictions in the testimony. Okay, here we go. Cross-examination time. So, we hear the same thing again. As you can see, we have 5, well, we can make 5 errors, but let's try to make none. I was going door to door, selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. Okay, that's a true statement. Continue. Thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Okay, keep going. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman not moving, dead. Okay, of course, she's dead, so nothing to refute there. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I want to press this statement. Phone in her apartment wasn't working? Yes, I mean, no, it wasn't right. But you said you didn't go into the apartment. There we go. That's what I wanted. Oh, did you? Oh, that. I can explain that. There was a cordless phone on the shelf in the entranceway. I reached inside and tried using that to call. And that phone wasn't working, correct? What happened next? I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who ran was without doubt the defendant sitting right over there. That's all of it. There must be a contradiction in there somewhere. Examine the court record. Hang on a second. I want to see this. Electricity in Mrs. Stone building was out from noon to 6 p.m. on the day of the crime. Okay, that lines up with what he said. Let's see. There has to be something here that I can use. Oh, wait. The autopsy report. She died between 4 and 5 p.m. So how could it be 1 p.m. if she wasn't dead at that time, according to the autopsy report? Okay, there we go. That's the evidence I need. Okay, let's do this. I found it. Because the 1 p.m. thing stood out to me, but I just didn't know. I'm afraid I'm able to go inside, how the phone wasn't working. Remember the time exactly? Percent. You found the body at 1 p.m. You're sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at sometime after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time. Really? After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Solid, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do, point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and their whole story falls apart. Wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again? Okay, so now he'll give the testimony again, but updated this time, the time of discovery. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Okay, that's a contradiction. There was a blackout. The TV couldn't be on, but okay, keep going. Oh, that it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. Sure. I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Sure, let's do it. Right. You know what to do. I've got this one. I already know what I want to submit as evidence for this. First of all, heard the time. The voice saying the time, it was probably coming from the television. Not possible because of the blackout report. Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery. And this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. The defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Solid? No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite. Wait, I remember now. Mr. Solid, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, and you seem rather distraught. My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Solid. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. Okay, so hearing the time. So let's... Actually, I didn't hear the time, I saw it. Okay, go on. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. The murder weapon was a clock? You saw a clock? I guess that would explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly. Hearing the time. Actually, I didn't hear the time I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? The murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. Now, find the contradiction. Okay. Let's see. I'm not exactly... I feel like I need to present the statue to one of these, but I'm not entirely sure which statement to say is wrong. That must have been what I saw. Okay, so that's the end of his testimony. I'm pretty sure it's this one, because I'm not refuting that the murder weapon... Well, let's just present it, because I'm pretty sure this is right. Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock? What? You with your objections and your evidence? Just who do you think you are? Why are you getting so worked up? Just answer the question, Mr. Solid. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may. Yes, Mr. Payne? As the witness stated, the statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. So he's still wrong. He still couldn't have seen the time. So, as it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies. I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with this testimony now? Yes, I do. Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment. You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Oh yeah? Prove it. Prove I went in there. I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. What was he? I don't really remember what the actual culprit looked like from the beginning. Oh well, whatever. You struck her with the clock and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Actually, it might be the same guy. He's just made himself look a little bit more spruced up, which is why I don't recognize him. But... Mr. Solid. The sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time. What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. He's about to have a mental breakdown. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never... Look, the clock, I heard... No, I saw... Okay, yeah, okay. I thought he looked different. Shut up! I hate you! It was him, I tell you. I saw him. He killed her, and he should burn! Burn! Give him death! Wow. Order in the court, I say. Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims. Mr. Wright. Your Honor, you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. I'd better think it through carefully. Yes, Your Honor. The sound Mr. Solid heard was definitely this clock. The fact is clear if you simply examine the clock, try sounding it. Use it. Let's sound the clock now, here in this courtroom. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. I think it's 8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker, after all. Yeah, that's actually clever. So we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now? It's 11:25. Yes, yep, it's 3 hours off. As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Solid heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Solid, try to talk your way out of this one. Ha! You forgot one thing. Oh, what's he talking about? Well, it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow. It proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. He's right. How am I going to prove that? I have the victim's passport. I was so close. Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Oh no, I haven't. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Solid. I come all the way down here to testify, and look what happens. They treat me like a criminal. A criminal! You lawyers are all slime. I almost had him. I'm sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. Really? Really? Not so fast, Mr. Solid. Thank you, Mia, for saving the situation. Chief. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. But, Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking outside of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Yes, I can. Wait. Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let them have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court report that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off. Let's see this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. Her passport, because it wasn't running slow, it was fast. She went to Paris. Paris is ahead of us. The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Solid? Or should I say, Mr. Did It? Yep, we win, and apparently he passed out from that. Well, order, I say. Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your client, he was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I have to say I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly, and find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. Hooray! And with that, the court is adjourned. It turns out that Frank Solid was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day, When Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Solid let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Solid grabbed the nearest blunt object he could find. Wow. Which was completely unnecessary. All he had to do was run. What was she going to do? Lock the door and keep him from leaving? I still can't believe we won. Right. Good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over. Yeah, he did still lose his girlfriend, so I guess he's still sad about that. Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Oh, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good. Wait, no. I mean, bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Wendy's gone, man. Gone forever. Larry, she was a... No, never mind. Congratulations, Harry. Harry. Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butt's innocent. God, they couldn't resist that joke, could they? Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner? Movie? My treat. Oh no, I couldn't. Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook. Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Aw, that's cute. Really? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that just make you want to cry? Larry. Are you so sure? Excuse me? I think she thought quite a lot of you, in her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me, it's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Huh? Oh, yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? She used his clock while traveling. Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? Where'd you get that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. She took it with her when she traveled. She probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People, too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right? Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner? On me. We'll drink a toast to innocent busts. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah, part, at least. You'll have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks? And so my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends." But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay me. Unless you count the clock you gave me, I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. Oh. The end. Okay, and that ends the first case. A brand new episode has been added, Turnabout Sisters, which we'll do in the next episode. So I hope that you guys are as excited for this series as I am. If you guys are, give this video a like. Also be sure to like my Facebook page and follow me on Twitter, as well as support my Patreon. And check out my reaction channel. All those links will be in the description below. And subscribe for more. And if you are subscribed or a new subscriber right now, be sure to hit that bell icon so you get notified when I upload videos. This is Viola Rolls, signing off. Talk to you later.